Good morning, students. How are you all? We are again back here for the third chapter or the third lesson in history and political science. Here we are going to deal with India's internal challenges. As you know, each and every country or nation has some of the other challenges which they face within or without. But in this lesson, we are going to highlight some of the challenges which India faced within. Okay, that is within the states, the unrest within themselves, and what are the different states which face the challenges in different areas. We shall see over there. Like for example, the unrest in Punjab, where they wanted a different state called Khalistan Independent Nation, Khalistan. Then we also had the Operation Blue Star, where in Amritsar, where the terrorists were hiding in the temple, Golden Temple, and Indira Gandhi, the then Prime Minister, had ordered uh, Blue Star, Operation Blue Star, to kill them. That, and then the issues concerning Northeast India, where we have Mizoram, Nagaland, Assam, Arunachal Pradesh. These are the other northeastern states which have some of the problems. Then we also come to the two movements, three things, that is Naxalite movements. Naxalite movements as such, now today we know it is very bad, but the Naxalite movement started for fighting for the people, those who were tortured by the zamindars. Okay, and they were taking away the lands of the poor people. They were looting the poor people by taking their lands, and in regard to that, this movement started against the zamindars. That is called the Naxalite movement. Then we have communalism. Communalism or fanaticism. Okay, it is based on religion, very close minded, which is very harmful. Then we also have something called regionalism. Each region, okay, if we go to different region, the regional languages are given more importance, other languages are not given more importance, and regionalism is given more of importance. Yes, we belong to particular region and we are proud of that region, but that is not the whole thing to belittle other regions. Okay, other, that is what is we are going to see what are the challenges which India faces, internal challenges. Okay, in this chapter we are going to learn about some internal challenges that India faces. We shall see some internal challenges like separatist movements, issues of northeast India, Naxalism, communalism, and regionalism. The unrest in Punjab. Akali Dal was the major political party in Punjab. In 1973, the Akali Dal passed the Anandpur Sahib resolution. The following demands were made in this resolution. Chandigarh should be made part of Punjab. What was the main demand? That Chandigarh should be made part of Punjab. The Punjab speaking parts in other states should be included in the state of Punjab. Recruitment of people from Punjab in the Indian army should be increased, and more autonomy should be given to the state of Punjab. So Punjab people wanted that. Akali Dal came to power in Punjab in 1977. While taking charge, they asked for a larger share of river waters for Punjab, holy city status for Amritsar, etc., along with their old demands. They wanted now that holy city status should be given for Amritsar, and the river waters, larger share of river waters for Punjab. In 1980, the movement for independent Khalistan took root in Punjab. During that period, the leader of the Akali Dal was Sant Harcharan Singh Longwal. He used to direct his activists from the Golden Temple to stage protest. On the other side of the Golden Temple, armed followers started gathering around the staunch Khalistan supporter, Sant Jarnal Singh Brindawal. Okay, two people were there. One was Sant Harcharan Singh. He was protesting, but there was another person called Jarnal Singh Brindawal. Sant Jarnal Singh Brindawal. Around him there were people who were staunch supporters who wanted to use what you call armed forces, armed followers. They were armed. Okay. During that period, terrorist activities had begun. Brindawal was arrested in 1981, accused of the murder of newspaper editor Lala Jagat Narayan. Lala Jagat Narayan was seemed to be killed by Brindanwale. Okay, was arrested in 1981. He was accused of the murder of newspaper editor Lala Jagat Narayan. After this incident, the situation worsened. Due to these developments, President rules was imposed in Punjab in 1983. Brindanwale went to stay at a religious place called Akal Takht. Brindawale's followers captured the Golden Temple, okay, and built a barricade of sandbags over there. The area looked like a fort. This greatly disturbed the peace in Punjab. It was a major challenge to Indian democracy. President rule was there. Now, why was the need for Operation Blue Star? The main task of getting the terrorists out of the Golden Temple, okay, was entrusted to Major General Kuldeep Singh Brar. On the morning of 3rd June 1984, the mission Operation Blue Star started. The operation ended on 6th June. In this military operation, the Indian Army functioned with great restraint. The operation ended with the death of Brindanwale and other terrorists. In 1986, an operation had to be conducted against terrorists in the Golden Temple once more. It was called Operation Black Thunder. After this action was taken, the process of establishment of peace in Punjab picked up momentum. Now, issues concerning Northeast India. Northeast India consists of the 8 states of Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Sikkim, and Tripura. International borders of India touch each of the states to varying extents. These states are different with respect to ethnicity, language, and cultural diversity. The first Prime Minister of independent India took the lead in bringing the tribes living in these areas into the mainstream of the country. In 1964, the Northeast Frontier Agency NEFA area, comprising of the territories on the Sino-Indian border and the tribal areas towards the north of Assam. Nehru took the position of bringing about the development of hundreds of tribes in these parts while preserving their culture. Special provisions have been made with respect to these areas in the 6th schedule of the Indian Constitution. In 1965, the responsibility of administering this area was given to the Ministry of External Affairs. The Northeastern Council Act of 1971 was supposed to advise the central government regarding aspects of common interest in economic and social spheres, interstate transport, electricity, flood control, etc. Now, Mizoram. The tribes in northeast India have an ancient history. When India became independent, the government gave administrative autonomy to the districts of Mizo majority areas of the Lucia Hills. When the state's reorganization commission was appointed in 1954, the expectations of the people in this area grew. Mizo leaders started demanding an autonomous Mizo province. In 1959, the territory of Mizoram experienced severe drought. During this famine, Mizo leader Lal Denga served the common people a lot. In 1961, Lal Denga established an organization called Mizo National Front (MNF). He asked for Greater Mizoram, an independent nation carved out of Tripura, Manipur, and Mizo majority areas from the Lucia Hills. In March 1966, Mizo National Front announced the emergency of independent Mizoram. Prime Minister Indira Gandhi handled the situation firmly and suppressed the rebellion. When the situation calmed down in 1972, the Mizo majority area was given the status of a union territory. In 1985, Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi had an agreement with the Mizo National Front of Mizoram was given the status of a full-fledged state. Laldenga became the chief minister of the state. That was about Mizoram. Then we come to Nagaland. The Naga tribe in northeast India is known as a martial tribe. The Naga tribe had settled in eastern Himalayas, the Naga Hills border areas of Assam and Myanmar. In 1946, some educated Naga youth established an organization called Naga National Council (NNC). Later, they made a demand for an independent state of Nagaland. They were led by Angami Zapu Fizo. In 1954, the Naga National Council announced the establishment of an independent federation of Nagaland. In 1955, skirmishes happened between local Nagas and the soldiers of the Assam Rifles. Military action was taken to suppress the skirmishes. Several rounds of discussions took place between the central government and the Naga National Council. Central government decided to give the Naga majority territory the status of a union territory. Nagaland was made a full-fledged state on 1st December 1963 by putting together the Naga majority territory and part of Swinsang. That was about Nagaland. Then comes the Assam. In 1983, there was an intense agitation staged by all Assam Students Union and Assam Gana Sangram Parishad over the question of the dominance in Assam of Bengali migrants. In 1985, Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, Central Home Minister Shankar Rao Chavan, and Assamese leader Prafulla Kumar Mahanto signed an accord. It was decided to send the Bangladeshi citizens who had infiltrated in Assam back to their original places. In 1986, elections were held for Assam Legislative Assembly and Prafulla Kumar Mahanto of the Assam Gan Parishad became the new chief minister. Due to this democratic process, it became possible to establish peace in Assam. After Assam comes Arunachal Pradesh. In 1954, NEFA was created. In 1972, it began to be called Arunachal Pradesh region of the rising sun. On 20th February 1987, it got the status of a constituent state. During the period from 1960 to 2000, Northeast India has progressed towards a more mature democracy. This area is on the path of progress through industrialization, spread of education, etc. So, in the next class, we shall learn about Naxalism, communalism, and regionalism.